ngai lo kuare pokolaring nya yola lawan kaji kija. Yola ko jora pejang olore ko mono jana waro nga jaring. Mono wangkang yura waro nya ngai kati. Nindi la anang jora. Ka ngai lo waro pala jambal la ko nga jaring. Yura lo kuare wangkang. So I just said, thank you so much for letting me be on this country. The beautiful Yulungur delegates who came down to Uluru, they brought the fire with them, and they said to everyone, you've got to take this fire and you've got to spread it. And I just said that as an Anangu from there, I hope I brought a little bit of that fire back here. It's pretty hard to follow those beautiful men who spoke up. I mean, William, as a phenomenal man from Central Australia, pretty much made us all cry. And I think he got to the heart of the matter, really, about what it means to, for me to be in this space as someone who can speak both languages and how important that is. And all that Children Ground does is really what we want. We want our kids to have that cultural knowledge of both. Just thank you, William, and thank you, Vincent, from me as the two Central Australian men that, are here with me. For me, to be a leader in this space it's pretty scary, but I'm quite lucky that I've had some phenomenal women and men that I've learnt from. One of them sitting up back there, Andrea Mason, she's the chair of the NPY Women's Council, and if you don't really know about Women's Council, it was started by a group of women 40 years ago. In 2 years' time we're 40, and those women said, okay, enough. You can't keep having conversations without us women. We're important to this conversation too. And those women have been my superstars. I can't talk enough about them. They are my leaders in every facet. I also work with the art centres in Central Australia, and to be a part of those men and women who talk about how strong culture is. Because people constantly say, especially around the arts, it's just dot painting, it's just a few dots, there's nothing really there. Bullshit. Any artist will tell you about how important their art is. For an Indigenous artist, they're putting down their culture, their language, their laws on a canvas that you get to see, or an artefact that you get to see. You might not know the full story of it because it's beneath the canvas. We don't need to tell you everything, We just give you a little taste every now and then. But they talk about how strong culture is, and I get to be their child. I get to be their vessel to ensure that, I am that child that will take on. I am the young leader I'm one of the young leaders, I should say that. I'm not the only one. There is a few of us here. And it's such a privilege to be in that space to go, yep, I can carry on this banner. I can carry that fire stick. We need to celebrate that, and we need to encourage more and more. And I was just coming to Garma to experience Garma, and now I'm talking to all of you more. I mean, in all of it, what I will say for me with the Uluru Convention, I went to 2 dialogues, the one in Ross River and the one in Adelaide, so that, because I'm part of Central Australia and I'm also part of South Australia, so I had to go to both. Yes, I did have to go to both, just in case you're wondering. And then when we were at Uluru, we actually decided to get together and have a little youth contingent. So we spoke about what we wanted, and we had a debrief about what it meant to us to be in that space. And our conversation was around the fact that we learn from our leaders all the time, but we also don't want to be left behind by our senior leaders, that we want to be walking beside you so that when you guys pass away, that we're not playing catch up. And to the non-Indigenous leaders that are in this space, I hope that you guys have a succession plan. I hope that you've got someone that is learning beside you, that will have the wisdom of being a young person and your wisdom as well, to ensure that you're getting the both outcomes, you're getting the best outcomes. Because I think as an young Indigenous leader, I get the best of two worlds. I'm understanding and learning constantly from my elders, but I'm also bringing a fresh young voice to it. And I hope that you continue to celebrate and embrace that in every walks of life. Learn from Garma, experience it, let it touch you in the soul, and, I just love and care, and have a little bit of a great understanding. This year's theme is about truth-telling. I mean, the biggest element out of truth-telling is education. So if you don't know something, go and educate yourself. Don't sit there going, I don't know, and make assumptions. No, there are books out there. There are people willing to have the conversation. Vincent said he is more than willing to sit around. I mean, I think find out where his tent is, build the biggest fire, and I think he'll be going on until, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock? Maybe just bring some biscuits and cup of tea as well. And hamper with maple syrup, yep. So, that's what I can just say. As a young person in this space, I'm here if you really are stuck to have a conversation. But just educate yourself and be bold and be ready as well. Because as I said, I was on the drum with beautiful Marcia and Murky and Andrea, and I said, as Indigenous people, we're not going away. We're not leaving. So as much as some people might like that, we're not going away. So we've got to live in this world together. And how are we going to do that for the best outcome for all of us? And that's all that is about, loving each other, caring for each other, and starting to learn to understand each other. And that comes from education, and that comes from truth-telling. So thank you, and have a great Garma.